also that we have a quorum. So I declare this annual general meeting of NetComm Wireless Limited officially open. The business of the meeting is outlined in the annual general meeting notice, and all shareholders should have received a copy of that notice with time to read it and digest it. And by the way, you would also have received a link to our annual report. We don't have hard copies of the report here, but if you'd specifically like a hard copy, you could see Steph, just wave at Steph, after the meeting, and Steph will organise a hard copy for you if you'd like it. So prior to moving to the procedural part of the meeting, you'll have to put up with a couple of speeches, first one from me and then one from David. Let me start with some extremely exciting news, which I imagine many of you will have seen, is that just last night we formally signed a contract with NBN for the supply of so-called drop point connectivity. And that will allow NBN to roll out its fibre to the curb solution to hundreds of thousands of Australian homes. And that's an extremely important contract win for us, with implications right through the global market. I'll spend some more time on it later on in my address, but this is literally late-breaking news, and we just informed the markets of this last night after the close of trade. So I'll just briefly go through our results, and David will spend more time on them. Our revenues increased last year by 15% to 85.1 million. Underlying EBITDA was up 23% to 11.2 million. And in May, we successfully raised over $51 million of new capital, which together with our profits puts us in an excellent position to invest in our business and to take advantage of really some wonderful growth opportunities which currently are presenting themselves right around the globe. Over the last 34 years, NetComm's shown itself to be an extremely innovative and agile business, straight out of the copybook. It's constantly adjusted to the rapidly changing telecommunications environment, and it's been able to reposition itself in this vital sector so as to take advantage of many new opportunities as they emerge. A few years ago, we saw a new trend emerge as governments and telcos around the world shut down their old analogue telephone networks to invest in new high-speed broadband networks, just like we're doing in Australia with the NBN. A number of key opportunities have presented themselves to us as a result of this. First of all, connecting machines to machines in this new environment, our so-called M2M business, and then connecting rural communities and communities on the outskirts of the suburbs with high-speed wireless broadband, and then more recently connecting the new fibre networks which are being laid to the last few metres of copper which run from each house into the street. So we've got good at connecting networks to networks. During 2016, we've made some excellent progress in each of these areas. For example, in our M2M business, we're actively working on an excellent opportunity with one of the world's leading manufacturers of elevators. The analogue phone network shutdown provides them and all other lift manufacturers with a problem, because each lift, at least each lift in the first world, has to have by law a PSTN line running into it for emergency calls. And as the PSTN network shuts down around the world, the lifts need new phones. And we're currently providing one manufacturer with our existing wireless M2M devices, and in advance of securing what we think will be a much bigger bespoke contract with them, and that'll allow them to wirelessly connect their lifts 24/7 and actually save money at the same time. We intend to pursue similar opportunities to this with other lift companies right around the world. We've continued to supply our fixed wireless broadband technology to the NBN in Australia, and very much as a result of the success of this technology, we were able to land a very significant contract with a large US telco to provide a similar but slightly different solution to the same problem as was experienced by NBN. In other words, how to get around about 10% of people who are too far away for a fixed line and too close for satellite, and that's where we target. We find that, as it turns out, we're world leaders in this technology. It's a new market which BCG estimates will be over $80 billion in size. We're currently in conversation with a number of other telcos around the world to provide similar technology to them, and in addition, we've recently signed an agreement with Nokia to work with them in the fixed wireless area. We see this fixed wireless sector as providing tremendous opportunities for the company for quite some significant time in the future as wireless just grows and grows. During 2016, we worked very closely with NBN to build a unique device that connects an optic fibre laid down the street to the short copper tail which runs out of every house to connect them currently to the PSTN network, but in future to a fibre network. This small connectivity box that we've produced will allow telcos to provide extremely high-speed broadband services to homes, but at a very reduced cost compared to running fibre all the way to the home, because it reuses the copper. This so-called fibre-to-the-curb technology relies on a box like ours to connect a fibre and copper network. The device needs to be powered. It needs to be extremely rugged, and it needs to be able to function in extremes of temperature and even underwater in the event that the pit in which it will most often reside fills up as a result of a deluge. So it's a very rugged piece of equipment that has to be built with some quite complex electronics inside. And yesterday we announced that the NBN has selected NetComm to provide this box in Australia after thoroughly testing our technology and that of a number of other competitors. Today I'm pleased to inform you that this same technology that we've just sold to NBN is currently being trialled in Thailand, and we expect to provide it to other countries during the coming years. FTTC, or drop point technology, may be one of the most important solutions for telcos over the next 10 years. And the size of the market is really hard to estimate at this stage, but it will certainly provide us with many great opportunities in the future. And while these three new technologies, M2M, fixed wireless and distribution point technologies, provide us with exciting new global opportunities, our traditional broadband business in Australia and New Zealand continues. We see growth for this business too, and we'll be investing during 2017 to take full advantage of consumers upgrading from ADSL to VDSL modems and beyond as NBN rolls out. So FY16 was busy, exciting, and it was certainly a successful year for our business. With continuing growth in the rollout of the Ericsson NBN project and attainment of technical approval for fixed wireless in the US, and the appointment by NBN yesterday, and several other exciting opportunities being worked on at M2M, I do look forward to another successful year in 2017, and I'm very excited about the outlook for our company. I also want to take this opportunity, however, to acknowledge the phenomenal contribution of our CEO, David Stewart. David is a living legend in the technology space. Under his guidance, NetComm Wireless has won numerous awards over the years for innovation, and he's overseen the growth of this company from a market cap of less than $10 million to today's value, which is over $300 million, and no doubt will go up soon. Just a few days ago, David won the ultimate industry accolade when he was awarded the status of Industry Ambassador at the annual AGM Awards. In making their decision to select David for that very prestigious award, the judges acknowledged his pioneering industry role in producing dial-up modems first, and then ADSL modems, and now VDSL and VDSL2 routers, creating the first Australian cellular broadband devices, and amongst the very first in the world, being a leader in the Australian M2M space, as well as becoming now a global leader in fixed wireless. And since then, the company has secured this very important project with NBN. And that's all under David's watch and all as a result of his magnificent guidance of the company. So I want to acknowledge that. I'd like to finally thank you, our shareholders, on behalf of the board, and in particular I'd like to thank our amazing team of engineers, the guys in the engine room who make all this possible and come up with the innovations that keeps this business going ahead. And of course our customers and for their ongoing and continued support. So I'm now going to hand you over to David, and he'll provide some more business detail, and then I'll come back for the formal part of the meeting. Thank you.